Parsons, Murphy.
Here.
Perry. Hutchinson.
Here.
Marchese. Parity.
Here.
Spencer.
Here.
Mayor Dennis.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. Legally noticed in accordance with the law and copies of the given revisions requested and changed. We move into the public comment period. Governing body in accordance with PL 2002, C80 have adopted the following guidelines relative to the public comment period at Caucus. Work session, special and emergency meetings of mayor and common council of Gloucester City. PCP shall occur at the beginning of each meeting to be no longer than 1/2 an hour in length, and every person wishing to speak may do so once during the period for no longer than 5 minutes. No changes made for the PCP of the regular London meetings. Anybody from the public wishing to speak, please step forward, state your name and address, and your business.
That's now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Right to stand?
Well, you can sit
Okay.
and just speak up. Just say your name and address.
My name is Rosemary St. John. I live at 16 North King Street. I would like to know what needs to be done to have King Street posted as a no-through truck zone.
Actually, it's a county road, and we can't do that.
So how do I do it? Do I have to go to a county meeting?
Yeah.
Do you know when they are?
The next one is in Lindenwall. Here, I'm going to tell you right now. What is it? No, it's tonight.
I would suggest you give Kevin Bessica a call. She is the county engineer.
Can you spell that?
Kevin, K-E-V-I-N, Bessica.
B-E-C-I-C-A.
She's a girl. I talked to her.
She
called me.
She is the county
She's a girl.
engineer. Her office is at the county complex in Lindenwald on Egg Harbor Road. And that's probably a good place to start.
Okay, yeah, because they're shaking my little house apart. The truck went by the other day and the juice glasses on the kitchen table actually moved across the table. And it's not necessary.
We've been talking, we've had meetings with Mr. Holt, and we've been talking to Mr. Holt regarding the truck traffic that's not supposed to be going south on King Street. So, we are meeting with him again, Jack, when?
May 5th.
May 5th. So within the next couple of weeks, we'll be meeting with him again. He's supposed to design a plan that's going to prevent that from happening. And in conjunction with the police department, they're going to enforce it. So, we will also be meeting with the neighbors in your neighborhood for the purpose of some permit parking, because I know that with the increased truck traffic and workers down there for Del Monte at Holtz, they're taking up all the residential parking spaces. So we've been checking into that, and George Berglund's been keeping an eye on it too, and he has determined there is a serious problem down there. So hopefully Mr. Holt will work along with us. If he doesn't, we're going to take whatever actions that we have to.
Very good, thank you.
If you have no luck with them, get back to us. I'll give you my card before we leave tonight, and you can get back to me, all right?
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else from the public?
John Schmidt, 1 West Thompson Avenue. I read that the state is ending the UEZ program at the end of June, and I'm wondering come July 1 how that will impact the budget. Will we then keep those employees and be responsible for the full salaries, or will we have cuts in salaries or cut in staff in the community development department?
Regarding the community development department and the UEC itself, the UEC was legislatively created. Therefore, it has to be legislatively disbanded. It is our thinking that the governor has pulled a quick one on not necessarily eliminating it legislatively as much as just not funding it. We have some odd $600,000 left in our account after he took the $1.75 million from us. And I believe that that's going to be distributed to the municipalities to run programs with, and that would include the administrative salaries of anybody running that department. That's where we're at right now. Anybody else want to talk? Go ahead.
Rick Gonzalez, 807 Cherry Street, Gloucester City. I recently did a repair for the wiring to the air conditioners on the roof of this building. While I was up there, I pointed out that the two cupolas, one front and one back, one in the rear, is already starting to lose the leg. There's an attachment of a small antenna, it weighs less than a broom handle, I believe, and it is pulling that leg out of there. There needs to be some determination as to what you want to do to fix that. When you look at them physically with the bucket truck up in the air, you can see that the wood is starting to all rot out. And there is naturally your historical society involvement. And I was asked to give a price. I can't do that until I know which way you want to go. Do you want to remove them, which may be objectionable to the historical society? Do you want to repair them in kind, or do you want to do something that is less expensive? We can almost all bet that if we live to the standard of the historical society, that it'll be quite expensive and may never get done because of the cost. So I thought, since I haven't heard anything back in more than a month about that I better just bring it to everybody's attention again so that you consider it, and persons like myself can take those down, put them back up. But what happens in between the removal and the replacement, if there is one, or just repair the roof, has a pretty wide range of money involved. So I don't want to go through the work only to find out that it's not anything that could be within the expectation of the governing body. And just an off the top of my head thing was that it could be $10,000 to $15,000 each to do. Naturally, I can lift them down with the crane, but if I'm going to lift them down and they're going to have to go back up, then you're going to want to handle them in a different manner than you would if you were going to do a demolition. So it could be costly. The secondary part of that is that the appearance is that the water that's destroying them is also getting in and probably destroying the underlayment of the roof. So myself, somebody else could go up there and see that. That may create some urgency. Other than that, one other comment would be, if we could, you know, I hear a lot of comments about the contractors, whatever, that don't want to do work for the city. And I can say from this own personal experience, the work was done faster than the purchase order was generated. The purchase order is an important piece of paper because it shows everybody in the world that the work has been authorized and the funds are in place to pay. Secondly, and more important to somebody like me, so I don't have to redo the work, is that you don't want to be charged sales tax. And I don't have the authority to not charge unless I have that piece of paper. That piece of paper would normally accompany the purchase order. The job was all done, and I was paying all my bills, and I was hesitating paying the bills for this work simply because I didn't have that exemption slip. But if I don't get that timely, then I lose my discount prices and pay regular retail on the purchase of the materials. So is there a way to improve getting those two pieces of paper out timely?
I'm sure there's a way to improve anything, Rick. Jack, do you understand what he's talking about? Can you approach Frank about that?
Yes, I will.
All right.
So just so that, and it'll help with other contractors, I'm sure, because that's probably part of what they're bitching about.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right. And thanks for bringing that to our attention about the cupolas, because, and Spags brought it directly to our attention as well. We know it's a situation that's creating more damage up there. It's just.
Well, I'm willing to go up there and inspect it free of charge and give my best advice. And as far as lifting it down, like I say, that can be done simply with the equipment I got.